What is the end game with the digital IDs and the cashless society, in your opinion?
We are right now in the trialogue on the digital ID and the digital wallet, which will be the system storing the digital ID. There are discussions about moving from the regular currency to digital currency, especially to the European currency, European digital currency. My position is I'm totally against this. I was the strongest opponent of this, of the wallet ID and the digital ID in Libe. I'm the main rapporteur on the opinion from the Libe committee, from the perspective of respecting the human rights and the freedoms. I mentioned it in the Libe committee that this system is going to violate everything that Europe stands for. It will violate freedom, it will violate liberty, it will violate privacy, it will violate free market principles. But unfortunately, there's a majority in this parliament that is supporting this new tyrannical way, I would say. And shortly, we are witnessing right now the transformation of Europe from an area of freedom into pretty much a prison camp, where people could not exercise their rights unless they are pre-approved by the government. In other words, your right to choose is between the options given to you by the government. That's not freedom anymore. I was born and raised in communism. I know how it is to live in a society where everything was decided by the government. For as long as I will be here, I will be fighting, with all my power against this tyrannical measures to be implemented here.
I think communism seems to be making a bit of a comeback, although some might say
Sadly,
it never went
yes.
away. You grew up under Ceaușescu's rule for the first 11 years?
11 years, yes.
What was that like for you and your family?
Well, my family was persecuted for both political and religious reasons. That was one issue. The second, it was a matter of the entire society being persecuted. For example, we had only two hours of TV program. Usually during that hour, we have blackouts because they wanted to save energy. We know the story now in Europe with the same thing. You were not allowed, for example, to travel on weekends with your cars. If your number, for example, if the last number on your license plate, on your plate, was an odd number, you could drive 1 week. If it was an even number, you could drive the following week. So if you had relatives, for example, one relative requested a number to end with an even number, the other one with an odd number, so at least they could use the car in case something happens. You had only, I remember it so well, 40 liters of gas every month. If you passed that, then eventually you had to ask for more gas from your friends. You could not buy more because you had tickets. You could buy only a half of a bread per person per day. In my case, we were 4 siblings, 4 people, my sister and myself and my parents, 4 people in my family. We were allowed to buy only 2 breads per day. But that was not enough. In order to buy it, you had to stay in line. By the time you got to buy it, there was no more bread, so you had to stay for more bread to come. I mean, everything was done to keep you busy, fighting for survival. You did not have time to think of democracy, liberty, and these are, noble ideas, but you need time for this. You need resources for this. And you have to be, healthy on one side and fed on the other side. But if you did not have access to all the food that you wanted, you don't have time to think of anything else. So what I see right now happening in Europe is the implementation of this neo-communism, where maybe they change the means, but the objective is the same: full control of the society. And this is not me saying it. This is what Ursula von der Leyen said in 2019, and I quote what she said in the plenary of the European Parliament in Strasbourg right before she asked for the vote to be appointed, to be elected as President of the European Commission. And I quote what she said: carbon emissions must have a price that changes our behavior. So the objective is to change the behavior. How do you do it? Higher taxes, higher prices, more control. In order to do that, you need certain tools. One of the tools is the wallet. The other tool is the digital ID. The other tool is the digital euro. And then from here, you go to rationalizing food and rationalizing movement, exactly as it happened during the pandemic. Everything is connected.